Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Cheryl. This is Your Journey Yoga. Today we are going to spend some time working with blocks and straps. If you do not have a strap, you can use a dog leash. You can use a piece of rope, a towel, a belt, anything that works for you that's not stretchy. If you don't have a block, you can use a book. You can use a piece of Tupperware. So something that's about 9 inches high-ish and about the width of maybe 4 or 5 inches. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. But that is a great tool to help us kind of bring the floor up to us. The strap is super handy when we have tighter shoulders and actually tighter hamstrings. So we're going to play with these a little bit just to help you familiarize yourself with how to use the tools to progress through your yoga practice and see actual progress. It's kind of cool. So as you progress and you can turn the block to a shorter level and a smaller level, it's pretty cool. You're like, yes, those little victories, take them in. So with the beginning of class here, we're going to take a block, just one. We're going to crisscross those legs. If that is not great for you, you can have your legs open to a little bit more of a V. You can also be up on your knees. So just someplace that feels okay to you. And we're going to take the block in its highest right here. So the longest, the tallest. This is level 2. This is level 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So if I make reference to those, that's what I'm referring to. So level 1, we're going to place that block right out in front of us, and we're just going to slowly, slowly, slowly hinge it forward. Now, if by chance you need 2 blocks, stack them. And just let your forehead come down to rest. We're going to hold on to that block just so that if it does happen to topple over, we don't face plant to the floor. I just want you to close your eyes and relax. So you can adjust. If you're like, wow, that's just a little too high, you can make it a little bit shorter. You can progress down to 1 block to that level 1. Just letting your body sink. If you're like, wow, okay, my body's sinking and I can feel it. Progressing down to that level 2. And if you're staying up with those 2 blocks, guys, it's all good. I just want you to find that really nice place where you can relax and let that upper body be heavy. Feeling a good stretch in your glutes and in that lower back. If you are comfortable doing so, extending those arms out. If you need to hold on to those blocks, please do. Just focusing on our breath. Those exhales are a key ingredient in our bodies and our minds. Our heart, letting go of anything that's not going to serve us today. It's a little slower paced practice today, an opportunity to really sink into the poses and for your body to surrender, letting down its guard, letting down the tension, letting go. And let's slowly walk those hands back up. We're going to take 1 block on each side. If you do not have 2 blocks, just have 1. I'm going to work with 1, but you can use both, just for those of you who do not have 2 blocks. We're going to take that block again in that level 1 setting, that highest setting, and I'm going to reach up and over with that right arm. Doesn't matter if you're on the other side. Reaching, reaching, reaching. So if that block is making you feel a little unsteady, you're just going to place the hand to the floor. You can also do forearm to hold on to. So some variations of how to use that block. And inhale it up. We switch sides, whichever way you want that block, and take it up and over. And again, you don't have to use the block. What that's doing is it's just lifting the floor up to you and allowing you to feel that success and that deeper stretch, so you're not fighting in that stretch. Sometimes when things are just a little out of reach, pardon me, a little out of reach, a little too intense, the body just tightens up and we lose that ability to find that good stretch. Let's do that one more time on each side. Maybe as the second time, you don't need that block. If you do, take it with you. Let yourself sink, keeping that opposite sit bone glued to the earth. So there's this tendency to pull your bottom, that sit bone, off of the mat. Keep it glued down and feel that great stretch. All the way up and over one more time. If you need the block, use it. If you don't need it, set it aside. Feeling super good. So one thing with our yoga, we got to set aside our egos. Oftentimes you're like, oh, I should be able to do this. I need to do this. No, you just need to breathe. You need to relax and you need to let it happen. Sometimes that can be the most challenging part of your practice. Just let it happen the way it's meant to. And let's come on back up. Releasing your hands down by your sides, pressing your palms down towards the earth. A little tuck of your chin towards your chest. And just stretching all the way down the back of the body. Inhale, head up nice and tall, and ever so gently release your head back. Feels right to lift your lower jaw towards the sky. Relax that jaw, very carefully coming back up. Doesn't that feel good through that throat? And then gently lean your head to the right, ear over the shoulder. Opening up the ear canal, stretching all the way down the neck. A little press of that left palm down towards the earth. Breathe. Inhaling it up nice and tall, and then exhale, leaning your head to the left. So if you're just starting your yoga journey, guys, welcome. Pressing that right palm down. It is a journey, and it's your journey. So that's why it's so important to let go of that ego and just know that everybody's in a different space, different place. It's about learning and exploring, finding an effective, healthy way to let go of stress and tension, to build a strong, healthy body and keep it, to promote healthy digestion. Inhaling it up nice and tall. Exhale, turn and take your gaze out over that right shoulder. Stress management, good digestion, good posture, strong muscular system, a healthy heart. Those are all of the wonderful benefits of just staying consistent in your yoga practice. And inhale back to center. We turn and take out our gaze over that left shoulder, just as far as you can turn your head. Mobility, flexibility, balance, and strength, it's all part of our yoga practice. Some days it's going to feel a little easier than others. We learn to show ourselves grace, to keep a sense of humor. We turn back to face front and we celebrate those successes. Let's go ahead and come on up onto all fours to a tabletop position. We're going to open up those knees, and we're going to again take our block, and we're going to come down onto our forearms, and we're just going to gently rest the forehead. So depending upon your flexibility in your hips and in the front of the thighs through those quadriceps, you might be able to start to sit it back and just pull that block back with you as you begin to come down. And again, you can be in level 1. Holding on to that block just so you don't land on your nose. Level 2, taking it down. Oh, that feels good. And just kind of let that upper body be heavy. Level 3, a little flatter, just supporting above the bridge of the nose. Right along that brow line. Or set it aside. And just breathe. Extending those arms out as far as you wish. Go ahead and get wiggles out and just let your upper body surrender down. Breathe. So extended child's pose, knees are apart, lots of room for the tummy and chest. Feeling a good stretch in the shoulders. So just really checking in As we move from pose to pose, how does your body respond? How does your breath respond? If ever you find something where you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot, back off a little bit. Let's go ahead and come on up. Hands right underneath those shoulders, pressing through the tops of the feet to pull those knees in to hip width apart. We are in our tabletop. Shoulders right over the wrists. Fingers are spread nice and wide. We take a big breath in and lower the belly down towards the earth as we lift our gaze and our sit bones to the sky. Cow pose. As you exhale, hollow your tummy and chest, lift your spine, tuck your chin to cat. Oh, stretching and putting space between each of those vertebrae. Inhaling it back to cow, tummy coming down, lifting your gaze and your sit bones. Exhaling it to cat. One more time each direction. Great poses to realign that spine, to promote flexibility in that spine. Articulating those vertebrae one at a time. And coming back to that neutral spine. Let's grab your blocks. 2 if you've got them, 1 if you don't. And we're going to take those blocks up into the highest position. Supporting on those blocks, we're going to take that right foot forward, right between the blocks. So your position might be fairly narrow. So depending upon how those hip flexors are feeling, how your quadriceps are feeling, how your glutes are feeling. So this is a lot of lower body here. We're going to lean in so you can adjust where your blocks are. Chest is lifted and we lengthen through the crown of the head. You should feel a really good stretch down the front of that left leg into that right groin and your right hip. Finding your breath. If you are comfortable doing so, tuck your back toes and lift that back knee. Otherwise, you just stay down on that knee. Breathe. And we're going to add a little movement in here if you like. You don't have to. As you inhale, tap the knee. Feel that stretch in the toes. And then exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, tap the knee. Exhale, extend that leg. 2 more times. Core staying strong. Tap the knee and extend. 1 more time. Tap the knee and extend. Go ahead and tap that knee down. Untuck your toes. We're going to pull the blocks back just a little bit, and we're going to lift the chest. Extending right arm to the sky, and arch it back. Breathe. Find your breath. Inhaling it up, place that right hand back down. Extend your left arm. Pressing those hips forward, arch it back. And breathe. Inhaling it up, hands on either side of your block, and slowly begin to press your sit bones back. Extending your right leg, we lift those right toes. You can have those blocks wherever you need them. You also don't need the blocks if you don't want them. You can also put a block underneath your bum to support, so that takes away some of that pressure. And listen to your body. We just want to feel a good stretch down the back of that right leg. So using a little support just turns it into a passive stretch. Never a bad thing. And then slowly transitioning forward, bringing that block back with you if you placed it beneath your bottom. And we bring that right foot back. Left foot comes forward. In between those blocks, adjust your blocks wherever you need to. They're nice and light, so they can just move with us. Breathe. Core staying strong. And again, if you don't need those blocks, yep, hands can be down. You can adjust to level 2 for a little deeper stretch. Level 3, if you like, making sure the core stays strong. I'm going to stay up on level 1. If you wish, tuck your back toes and extend that back leg, keeping that core strong and engaged. Breathe. As you inhale, tap the knee. Toes stay tucked under. Feel that stretch in the toes and the arch of the foot. And as you exhale, extend that right leg. Inhale, tap. And exhale, extend. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, tap. Exhaling and extending. Otherwise, you're just holding if you don't feel like using that movement. And extend. Beautiful. And then gently release. Untuck those toes, lifting the chest. So if you need to pull those blocks back just a bit, make it happen. We extend that left arm to the sky. and arch it back just a little bit. Feel that deeper stretch in that right hip flexor. Oh my gosh, yes, that feels so good. Inhale it up, release that left hand down, right arm reaches to the sky, and exhale, arch it back, an even deeper stretch. So it's like there's this tether from the tips of your fingers all the way down to your knee, and as you arch it back, a deeper stretch. And gently release that right hand back down, pull the hands back just slightly, and begin to sit it back. Left toes lift, square your pelvis, and slowly lower your nose towards your knee. And again, you can adjust the height of the blocks as you need it, as you see fit. Again, if you like, place that block underneath that left hip, keeping the pelvis square. So just a place that feels right to you, kind of top of the thigh, just below your bum. Inhale, we rise, grabbing that block, bringing it along with us. This time we're going to tuck those back toes and we're going to pull that back foot in to a forward fold. This is a great place. So if you have tight hamstrings and you're like, man, I just want to touch the floor, put that block up to wherever you need it. Level 1, level 2, find that floor. We're bringing the floor up to us, slowly progressing down to maybe one day we don't need that block. And if you feel like the block kind of stops your progress, then take it down to the next level. Take it away if you need to. This is really to add to your practice, not to take away. Find your breath. Finding those exhales, allowing that head to be heavy, feeling that stretch in that lower back and down the backs of the legs. And ever so slowly start to roll it up. I want you to take your block with you as you roll up. With a big shoulder roll at the top. Shoulders slide down and away. We're going to place that block right between the knees. You can have it so that it's either long way through the legs or vertical, whichever you like, horizontal or vertical. I like mine horizontal just because shorter legs and it seems like it takes up more of my legs in that vertical position. This is going to add a little activation for the inner thighs. So with that block between us at the knees, we're going to squeeze those inner thighs. So this is about the hip width distance when you hear me talking when we come into hip width standing for our mountain pose. Or if we do chair without those toes touching, which is exactly what we're going to do. Pulling those hands to heart center. We're going to keep those knees, squeezing that block, and begin to sit. Now you might sit in a bar stool. You might sit at a kitchen chair. You might sit at a little kindergarten chair. So wherever your chair is, I want you to squeeze those knees. Hands are at heart center, chest is lifted. Weight is in our heels. Can you lift your toes? You don't have to keep them lifted, but feel that weight in those heels. Inhale, half lift, firing up those legs, and then sink. Are you still squeezing those knees? Half lift, and sink. So a little added bonus. So our blocks are great assisters and also intensifiers. One more half lift. And sink and rise. Extend your arms, extend those legs, bring your palms to gently touch, spread your fingers wide, and a little arch back. Stretching through the belly. Inhaling it up nice and tall. Release your hands to heart center. Take that block and let's step back with that left leg. Back toes are turned to about a 45-degree angle. So find what feels good to you. If you need to open up your foot a little bit more, that's okay. About a 45-degree angle. Block is in our right hand. Extend those arms out to a T. Right foot's pointing straight ahead. Reach out over those right toes. When you can't reach anymore, place your block behind your foot, kind of right by the ankle, and extend left arm to the sky. Breathe. triangle. So here we are on level 1. We have brought the floor up to us. We're not leaning on that block too much. We should be able to take that hand away and still stay where you are. But now we found the floor. If you're like, that's too high, I feel like I could go more, take it down to that level 2. If you're like, wow, I want more, but I don't want to let that left hip turn towards the floor, bring it down to that level 3. You just want to feel that great stretch all through the ribs and the waist. Now, if your hand is flat on that block in that level 3, you can take that block away and fingertips just gently touching the floor. Find your breath. Now that core is going to stay strong, and I want you to take a hold of that block, and we're going to rise all the way up. Nicely done. And we're going to shift our toes. So now we take it to the other side. Left toes pointing straight ahead. We shift that block to our left hand, right toes to 45 degrees. And we reach it out. Our hips are open. Pelvis is open to the side. Reach, 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 reach. When you can't reach anymore, placing that block just behind the ankle. Right arm extends to the sky. Reach it up. Opening up that chest, opening up the pelvis. What do you feel? It's always interesting to me as I check in each day, because you feel different things, different days. You bring with you how you slept, what you've had to eat, your emotions, what's going on in the head, what's going on in the heart. If you like it, adjust. Level 2. Maybe you're level 3 on one side and level 1 on the other. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Your body is not made identical. We are not equally as strong or equally as flexible on both sides. It's a journey. Remember that. It's about progress. It's about progression. It's not about perfection. Let's grab a hold of that block. Core strong, and let's rise. Ah, that was triangle. Did that feel so good? Turning your toes inward, turning the heels inward. We bring that block overhead, take a hold of it. Let's extend it to the sky in that level 2 position and begin to hinge it forward. If hinging forward with those arms extended is too much, pull your hands into heart center and hinge it forward, releasing your hands, the block to the floor. And then ever so slowly releasing down. So again, this is about bringing the floor up to you. If coming forward, you're like, that block is more of a hindrance, give this a shot. Turn it to level 3 and see if you can get the crown of the head to your block. Find your breath. You can do the same thing in level 2. You can do the same thing in level 3. If it's not about the hands, make it about the crown of the head. So really working to get the crown of the head towards the ground, taking a hold of your ankles. Use the strength of those arms to pull the upper body towards the space between your legs. Now you can adjust the width of your stance. So if you're like, I'd like it to be a little bit wider to be able to get that crown of the head to the mat, make it so. If you want it a little bit narrower, that the crown of the head comes to the floor before you want it to, make that so. This is tailored to you, to where you are in your practice. Find your breath. Releasing your hands. Let's take that block and set it aside, grabbing your strap. Hopefully it's close. And we're going to take that strap around behind the back, and we're going to hold on in each hand. We're going to roll those shoulders up and back, lifting your hands towards the sky. Now you might have open shoulders, right? You don't really need your block or your strap. If you do need it, take it, and you can have your hands as wide as you need them to be. Okay, so the great thing about your strap is you can slowly progress to bringing those hands together to one time. Maybe you can interlace those fingers and you no longer need that strap. But in the meantime, it's there for you. Find your breath. Slowly bring your hands to the small of the back. Lengthening through the crown of the head, slowly hinge it all the way up. We come up nice and tall, giving those shoulders a big roll up and back. And let's transition those hands to the front, keeping that strap. Now again, you can make that strap. I've got mine doubled. You can open it up and have a single. Just make sure if you do have metal or plastic that you take a hold of that in one hand so you don't whack yourself, because we're going to do some up and overs. So feet are just nice and wide, good stable stance, and we take the arms up and over. So you might not be able to get all the way around. It's okay. Take the hands a little bit wider. Still, if that's not happening, stop where it feels a good stretch, but you don't have to bend the elbows to go any further. There is no pain. If you are able to go all the way around, celebrate that. Celebrate whatever movement, whatever mobility you have, and we work to gain more. Efficient, healthy. So if you're like, well, that doesn't really feel like much, take it narrower. Okay, so the more narrow we become with those arms, the more mobility we're asking through that shoulder joint, that ball and socket joint of the shoulders. Let's do 2 more. So we're going all the way up and over. And again, you can make it more narrow. You do you. I just don't want you to do that chunky motion through the shoulders. So if you're having to kind of go boom, boom, like that sound effect, oh, boom. Okay, so we don't want that way. I want a nice smooth motion. Ball and socket, right? Smooth motion. Beautiful. Now we're going to take that left arm up and back behind, right arm up and to the front. Again, left arm up, around behind, right arm up and to the front. Nice. So mobility through the shoulders. Oh, this feels so good. You might have heard this referred to as shoulder flossing. It's just mobility. One more time, and then we're going to go the opposite direction. Bringing that right arm up and over, and now let's switch. So now that right arm goes up and around behind, left arm up, bring the strap back in front, right arm up and behind. Is it feeling looser? Oh, happy shoulders. That's a beautiful thing and a beautiful gift. Let's do one more. Up and over, around behind, up and back, and facing front. So we're going to take that strap once again. We're going to turn. You can be facing me, you can turn. We're going to take the strap and we're going to make it a double so that you have a little loop. We're going to place that right foot in the loop and just go ahead and stand on it. We're going to prepare ourselves for dancer's pose, extending left arm to the sky. Strap is around that right foot. We're going to bend the knee and pull the strap behind us. Breathe, bringing those knees towards one another. Now this is challenging in and of itself. So if you need a counter to hold on to, the wall, a chair, anything, you're welcome to do that. You can stay right here or begin to pull that strap and just kind of up and over the shoulder. If it feels right to you, start to lean forward and then press your foot into that hook of the strap, that little loop. And as you press away, what do you feel? Finding that breath. Slowly we rise, releasing that strap from around the foot. And then let's switch to the left hand. And we bring that left foot right into the loop. We pull the hand around as we bend the knee. Heel in towards your bottom. Right arm extends to the sky. And again, you might need the wall, you might need a chair, or if you're good, just balancing. Awesome. Start to pull that strap up and over the shoulder as much as feels right to you. Now again, we can stay tall. This is dancer's pose. Or if you like, begin to hinge it forward. And we can press that foot out and away against the loop of that strap. Find your breath. Slow it down. Stability, flexibility, strength. Slowly we rise, drawing those knees back towards one another. Release that strap from the shoulder and stand tall, releasing your foot. Breathe. Go ahead and set that strap down. Just toss it down. Big shoulder roll up and back. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, swan dive to forward fold. If that block is handy, yep, you can absolutely use it. You don't need it, no worries. We're going to slowly bend the knees. Taking your block, we're going to put it right behind you. And we're going to sink down to the point where we can squat. Now, if you need that support of the block, use it. If all of a sudden you can take it down a notch, do that. We want to work to keep our heels down towards the earth. If you can, that little block, level 3. Find your breath. If you don't need it, take it away. Those heels remain down. And just this really nice stretch through the lower back, through the quadriceps. Feeling it in the ankles. Grab your blocks, one or both, and lower yourself down. We're going to place those blocks right beside us on that level 3 position, crisscrossing those legs. So we're going to work a little bit of strength here. So crisscrossing those legs, hands on your blocks. I want you to sit up nice and tall. Palms, fingers are wide, palms are against the blocks. And we're going to press into those blocks as we lift our bum. And then come back down. Press and lift. And come back down. Press and lift. So we're working to get space between our bum and our mat. And lift. So sometimes, like I have a longer torso, shorter arms, so this can be pretty challenging. So if you're like, I can't even get my bum off the floor, all good. Flip your blocks up 1 notch and lift and lower. Did that help? Lift and lower. One more time. Lift and lower. So here, challenge. You can just stay with it. We're only going to do 2 of these, but we're going to do our best to lift our feet with us. So I want you to really glue. I want you to engage through those inner thighs. Glue those feet to your legs and lift and lower and lift and lower. I lied. I said 2. Let's do 1 more. And lift and lower. Nice job. Go ahead and set those blocks off to the side and let's walk it out. If you need your block, take it with you. We're going to see if we've progressed a little bit, gained a little more mobility and a little more flexibility, and let your head be heavy. So I hope this has been fun, informative, helpful. Not quite done, but we're close. We're sneaking up on the best part. And let's slowly roll it up 1 vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up. We're going to turn. We're going to come into butterfly. And these blocks are beautiful for butterfly. So soles of the feet are together. You're going to place those blocks right underneath those knees. And you can put them, again, as high as you need them to be. And sit up nice and tall. Extend those arms out. And then ever so slowly, just roll it back. And you might need to adjust as you come down. Let those knees rest against the blocks. If you prefer not to have the blocks, yes, you can take them away. Let's take those arms up and overhead, stacking one hand on top of the other. Close your eyes and just breathe. A little taste of yoga, a gentle yoga. If in your mind you're saying that wasn't super gentle, it's okay. Stretching is so personal, and it's so in the moment, depending upon what we've had going on in our life and where we are at this moment. We stay present with our breath. We stay kind to our bodies. We continue to challenge, but to be kind. We respect the power of our breath and the gift of each and every breath we get to take. That's our journey through yoga. This gift of mobility and movement, this gift of being present. Let's slowly, gently bring the soles of the feet back to the earth, knees together. We're going to bring 1 block, tucking the pelvis, small the back, pressing into the mat, and slowly begin to lift your hips. As you press and lift your hips to the sky, engaging those glutes and those hamstrings, if you like, place the block in level 2, just above your bottom, just above at the top of the pelvis. And breathe. Let your body relax. against that block. And if you prefer, yes, you can just stay in bridge pose, unsupported. Hands can rest on your hips, or you can have those arms down by your sides. So if we keep that unsupported bridge, yes, your glutes and your hamstrings are super engaged. Otherwise, we're here just celebrating this little back bend. And if you like, yep, you can even go higher to that level 3. So you find that space that works for you. Noticing that nice stretch through the hip flexors, that passive stretch as we're relaxed against the block. And again, you don't have to use the block. So that active bridge, yep, squeeze those buns, engage those hamstrings, and then ever so slowly remove your block and lower it down. One vertebra at a time. Bottom the last to touch. Left leg extends out. Right knee comes in. We're going to switch that block to that left hand. And we're going to take that left hand crossing the right knee and pull your leg across your body. Now you might need to adjust where your block is. Level 2 seems to be a really nice spot, and we're just going to place it along the inside of the knee, allowing that left hand to be heavy against the outside of that right knee. And then we turn and take our gaze out over that right arm. Closing your eyes. Find your breath. Just taking it all in. Releasing that left hand, take a hold of that block, slowly roll it back to center, and release that right leg down. Pass the block to the right hand. Place it down just about the extension of your arm. Seems to be about right. Pulling that left knee in. Right hand reaching to the outside of the left knee, and gently guide your knee across. Now if you need to adjust, and we just want to rest the shin and the knee against that block. Right hand resting to the outside of the knee, and just let your arm be heavy as we turn and take our gaze out over that left arm. Find your breath. My wish for you is an amazing day in every way. Hoping that you will come back and visit often. Consistency in your practice, taking care of yourself, time to replenish the energies that you so freely give away. Working towards becoming our very best self, mentally, physically, emotionally. I have found yoga to be such a gift in my life in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just want to share it with the whole world. So thank you for being a part of my world and allowing me to share it with you. Gently rolling back to center. Extending both legs out. Extend your arms overhead. Point your toes. Reach. As you're ready, drawing the knees in towards your chest. And we rock ourselves up or come onto your side. And let's gently come back up. Again, a block, you can find these just about anywhere. Handy. If you don't have them, a book, whatever you need. Your strap, dog leash, whatever you have. No need to spend lots of money. Just find what you've got and let's make the best of it. Let's roll those shoulders up and back and let the shoulders slide down and away. Pull those hands to heart center, and I just want to take a moment with a heart full of joy and gratitude for being here with you today. Thank you for taking some time to be here with me. Again, I hope this was helpful. I hope you loved it. I hope you learned some things, and I hope you'll come back. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And until the next time, namaste.